What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? Welcome to Women's Wrestling Talk, the news edition. My name is TK Trinidad, and I am not alone. I have our, I need to figure out a name, resident correspondent, Stephanie Hardy. She has the Hardy podcast. Definitely, you guys need to check it out. I'm going to be on one of the episodes I'm really excited about. So definitely, you guys need to check that out. How are you doing, Stephanie?
I'm doing good. It's Thursday, just chilling out and just ready to talk some wrestling with you.
That part. So much going on. You actually no Soul Con. So that's not wrestling, but I will answer the question. I didn't see the verses yesterday because what was I doing? I was actually doing I was filming something. I was on 2 Zoom calls and I had a friend come over for a meeting for another show. So I didn't get to watch the verses, but I will get to watch it. I don't know, one day eventually. So I need to also figure out how we do our names here. Anywho, before we get into that, Stephanie, you sent me a video and I quickly had to download it. Thank you guys for joining us on YouTube because we usually do it on IG Live, but IG Live is tripping, so we're not going to do IG Live anymore. But I want to play this video. I haven't heard it, and I am, for you guys who don't know me, I'm always a sucker for men without shirts. So,
excuse me for a minute while I lighten the mood. Just clap with me like the lightning do. Yeah, a bit of soul food that you be biting into, and if you feel me, then I'm writing for you. Right now with another coat of.
So So what do you think, Stephanie? Because clearly you were mesmerized by it because you sent it to me. You DM'd it to me. I was like, oh, okay. I could definitely appreciate it. So what were your first thoughts?
Well, I love Xavier Woods, and I love the New Day. So it's just I was on Instagram, right before we came on, and I saw that video of him playing the bass, and I was just like, there he goes again with that bass guitar. And
Mm-hmm.
and he's just been learning all of these different songs and everything and then incorporating it, on Raw, occasionally. And it's just the coolest thing because it just lets me know, it's just a reminder that there's nothing that he can't do.
This
Like,
is true.
there is nothing that Xavier Woods just cannot do, and he's just amazing, and he's fine. So
Uh,
there's that.
this is what so concept. Wood's always trying to thirst trap. I
Hey,
I
it
mean,
works.
I mean, you know what? You were absolutely right because he really sometimes he posts whatever. But yeah, this one did catch my attention, and I know him. I'm just like, oh, okay, I see you. So that has nothing to do with women's wrestling talk, but I figured I'd share it because that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
So
plus
let's
I
get.
love him. I love him even more because we share the same birthday too. It's so amazing. We're both
Oh my.
Virgos.
That explains a lot. That explains why why we also get along. I'm debating if we should end this topic or we should start with this topic. I think we're gonna end with this topic. We'll go through the first couple of things. So let's talk ROH. Have you been kind of staying abreast of the ROH women's division at all?
The last thing I heard was that Maria Kanellis Bennett was working with them or in charge of them in some form or fashion, and she's wanting to, help that division grow. And that's really the most that I've heard from them.
Oh, you are missing so much. The ROH division is beyond growing. I'm really excited with my mouse is deciding not to work at the moment. I'm really excited with what they're doing. I think we had talked about it before. I'm really excited with what they're doing. They have so many women coming up. Willow Nightingale was on there last week. And like here's a little this is they have women's division Wednesday, like every Wednesday. It's a really
Ooh.
great women's match. It's different women's matches every week. And they're very well thought out. I'm for it. So currently, so for you guys who haven't been following ROH, so Maria Kanellis is on the board of directors. She's pretty much heading up the women's division, and she is giving out golden tickets. So not only do they have women's matches every Wednesday, she also gives out golden tickets because sometime in the summer or sometime very soon, because I think we're in the summer right now, they're going to have a women's championship match. And they have a lot of great women so far on this lineup. So Roxy is on there, Allison Kay, Trisadora, Miranda Alizé, Maserati, Willow Nightingale, Angelina Love, Mandy Leon, Nicole Savoy. She was just added recently. So they have a really great lineup on this. So it kind of feels, it doesn't feel like, it feels like what ROH took up what Mae Young was supposed to be.
Mm.
Because they're
Yeah.
not doing it. So we have all this amazing talent. So will you be, I know you haven't been watching it thus far, but will you be watching ROH, the championship? Will you be looking out for that?
I definitely will be. And also, since, some of the people that you named, I know you mentioned Maserati, Lazarus. She's actually going to be in a part of the Belladonna division down here in Gaston, Alabama.
Nice.
And our second show in August, which is Genesis 2, which is a continuation of the event that happened that I was a part of as a commentator for the first time. And she's
Okay.
going to be coming. So I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for that. Because that
Yeah.
looks really interesting. And I love how you
Yeah.
mentioned the Mae Young Classic and how that disappeared. And I'm upset about it too. So
I mean, we can go on a whole tangent about it. We'll just leave it alone. But moving on, I'm really trying to, that story's about that too. Let's just get into it. We're going to have a discussion here. Actually, no,
Okay.
we're not. Let's get into this one first.
Okay.
Chelsea Green. So
Mhm.
she have you so we had her on, was it last week or the week before? We had her on Women's Wrestling News either last week or the week before. You have to go on our IG live to check that out. And her podcast is actually absolutely amazing. So you guys should definitely check out the podcast. So she, if you've been following her on Instagram, not only does she have amazing bikini pictures on there, she's also been kind of every couple of days, I think once a week, she gives a countdown of when her embargo is up from WWE. So on our IG live, she talked about, there are people that she's talking about. I'm pretty sure, I'm assuming that she still has a great relationship with Impact Wrestling. She has a great relationship with AEW because of their friendship. She was actually at Brandy's baby shower, so of course they're friends. So it's not like she's not going to have a job. So it's just really a matter of where she's going to be and where she's going to end up. She also did mention that she's going to take a bit of a break. It's like her embargo will be up and she might dabble, but she might not sign to something permanently. It might just be more like, I'm going to appear here and appear there. But she did mention on her podcast that she wants to essentially be the top woman for the NWA Empower. And they're growing too. They just brought back the NWA. Their women's division is growing. They also have stuff on YouTube as well. Where do you think Chelsea should go? What do you think her next move should be?
I think Chelsea I would see Chelsea more as an Impact person. But then again, I would see her as an Impact and an NWA person because it's just like the world is her oyster at this point. But, with having a great relationship with Impact, it's like, that would be a very cushiony choice, for her. Also, plus,
Mm-hmm.
not to mention her fiance is there as well. Not to say that really has anything to do with it because you don't have to be everywhere your significant other is.
True,
But,
true.
but I'm pretty sure that would be the more cushy choice. And then, she would probably have, lots of new matches there with women she probably hasn't, had the opportunity to face. So that would be really cool. But then if she's with NWA, they could use, that star power as well. So I would say, both NWA and Impact for her.
I kind of want to see, because she's done Impact and we know what she can do and we know that Impact allows for creativity. I kind of want to see what she would do in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like because NWA, the women's division is, we are seeing Thunder Rosa all over the place at AEW, but she's signed to NWA.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, I kind of want to see that first before she even touches Impact, because it's kind of like we've seen her in Impact. We see what she can do. We know we're capable. You know what she's capable of. WWE didn't really make use of it, but she was also injured too. So it's just kind of like the timing just didn't work. And who's to say? I mean, Eva's back, so who's to say that she won't be signed to WWE again? We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, you never know. So it kind of felt like the last 2 years she hasn't been able, due to injury and everything, she hadn't been able to really, be the full hot mess, full Chelsea Green, full whatever, version she wants to be. So now I'm really eager to see what she's going to do. And then I hope it is with AEW, because I feel like she can shake things up there. So
Yeah, yeah, she had a lot to offer when she was in NXT as well, because I feel like, a lot of us, tend to harp on her short time in WWE just past time, but when she was in NXT with the Robert Stone brand, that was very entertaining. And then, they broke up and then she got called up and then got injured. So I feel
she was
like
injured twice though. She
like
was injured
twice.
twice.
Okay.
Yeah. She was
Mm-hmm.
injured twice before. When she got there, I think she got injured. And then when then she also got injured again when she got called up.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what we like discussed. It was kind of one of those things where it's just kind of like, I don't know if the game plan was for, hey, Wheel 5 Stud. I don't know if the game plan, if they had a game plan for her, like they had a future game plan for her, or they were just testing the waters, or the time she was injured, the time she had plans. It just didn't seem like it was lining up, and maybe it just wasn't meant to be. So yeah, she was injured twice. So, and I believe when she might have been injured another time too. So I don't know. Hopefully she'll be fine. But that leads us to, this topic's going to take up a lot, because I wrote down two things I want to talk about, but they both encompass the same thing. So I made mention of it. So Eva Marie is back, and she's been back for a couple weeks. Um, First off, let me get you, because I haven't talked to you about that, because how we film our shows, it's very spread apart. How do you feel about Eva Marie making a comeback?
Well, I was actually okay with it because when she was there, the first time, they were sort of transitioning sort of in between the whole diva and women's wrestling thing. And she was
Mm-hmm.
sort of trying to figure out where she fit in that. And even though she really wasn't that much of an athlete, in terms of how she wrestled, that's no shade, but that's just, what she was conveying. She was still able to draw heat in the sense that she would pretend and then she would sort of tease you and then sort of yank it
Mm-hmm.
back.
Yep.
And that was just kind of, like a funny thing for me. And then, she got released. And we never really saw that much of her again, outside of social media. And, of course, she got married and then she started a whole bunch of other business ventures. And
Mm-hmm.
now she's back and supposedly, has been training and stuff like that. And I didn't necessarily have a problem with it. When they first showed the trailer for her returning, I was very surprised. Like, whoa, like for real? You're gonna do this again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then not only are you doing this again, you're not misread everything, you're all pink everything. Okay, ma'am, let's see what
Yeah,
this has
that.
let's see what this has to offer now in 2021,
Mm-hmm.
now that the women, have sort of progressed in a way that's far exceeded, past what she was. So
Right.
I was interested to see how she was going to fit in that. Now, and it was kind of awkward for me to have that, perspective that with that because it seemed like every other wrestling fan was angry as heck. It was very overwhelming.
Yeah. Well, because I feel like she went back down to NXT, and at that time I was heavily watching Divas. Um so Total Divas. So, we
Mhm.
saw when she went back down to NXT, and we saw her trying, but it also felt like there's different types of wrestlers. You have the wrestlers who they live and breathe wrestling. It doesn't matter where they are, where they go, it's always about wrestlers. Then you have people who get into wrestling because they want to do something else, like, okay, well, I want to be there at the Rocks, but so wrestling is going to carry me there, but you don't really love the wrestling. And I think people, the WWE universe in particular, kind of saw that. It seemed like, okay, well, you came up through the Divas, okay, well, that's fine, because that's how that was an option for you, but you don't really love wrestling. So, like, why are you here? And then on top of that, you're not really good at it. It's kind of like if you don't love wrestling, but you're at least good at it and you can make it work. But it's like she wasn't really, compared to the other women, she wasn't really good at it. I don't know how she looks now. I haven't been able to watch any of her fights. I know she has been training. She was really heavy into CrossFit. I believe she still is. So I'm not really a fan of the pink, but I think I'm just so used to seeing the red, but I haven't seen the red in forever either. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Soul Khan says Eva Marie is more of a brand than a wrestler. I agree. Her goal was to be like The Rock. She has said that on several occasions. I think she did a movie debut, and I don't think it went well, but don't quote me on that. Sorry, guys, if I keep looking at my phone because I'm waiting for my UPS guy to pick up some boxes. So just bear with me. So there's that. So Eva Marie has made the comeback. She appeared on Raw, and she's supposed to fight Naomi, but instead Piper Niven came in, and there's a couple things that happen. One, I like Piper. I love the fact that I was introduced to her through Mae Young Classic. She's been
Me
at
too.
NXT UK. She's been doing really well there. And I love that she's just, going to the beat of her own drum. However, how they announced her, it's like NXT UK is like the redheaded stepchild. It's like it doesn't exist. It's so weird to me. So it's like, okay, we have this brand called NXT UK. So it's very clear. It's not like, I don't know, I want to say Evolve or something like that. It's like not, it's part of the brand, but it's not really part of the brand. NXT UK is clearly part of WWE. So it's just kind of
Right.
like, we know that, but they don't talk about it. So it kind of doesn't exist. Now she's on the Raw brand, but they don't give her a name. And her and Eva Marie are somehow friends. but we're gonna get into the whole Naomi thing in a second. But what did you think of that part of it?
I was disappointed in the sense that that they didn't give her a name or didn't really say who specifically she was,
Mm-hmm.
because it reminded me of a long time ago how they used to bring people up from NXT and not really mention it, or they would act as if NXT wasn't a big deal when it came to Raw and SmackDown. It was
Mm-hmm.
almost like they were making it like the whole big eyes and little U's type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it reminded me of a little bit when I saw the clip of it. I was like, well, dang, like you're making it seem like NXT UK is just nothing, you
Yeah.
know? And to the casual watcher, I would assume, maybe, well, I don't want to assume because that's bad, but it's just to the casual watcher, they may not necessarily know what NXT UK is. But at the same time, this is why you're a commentator, educate them, let them know, where she's from, let them know, how her debut was, let them know what her background is, as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
just letting her come up there as like a giant question mark.
Yeah. Well, according to Fightful, so Steve O'Dare of Fightful, he said that Steve Ross Sapp from Fightful, he said that the possible name for her is going to be Dewdrop. Um, so I hope they don't go with that,
Me
but I
too.
don't know. I'm just here. So, um, now to make matters worse, not only did they not give her a name, um, there's supposed to be a match with Naomi. And typically, correct me if I'm wrong, folks, usually when you have somebody who appears to be a jobber, so let's just take out the NXT UK, who appears to be a jobber, right? Wrestling somebody on the main roster, usually the main roster person squashes that person. It's a squash match. But that didn't happen. So not only did we not give Piper a name, we the announcers didn't state her history of any sort. Somehow her and Eva Marie are best friends. And Naomi is so flustered because she's new into the business, y'all. She just got here. She hasn't been in the game for 8, 9, 10 years. She just got here, so she's so flustered at somebody new that she completely loses the match. Like, what's going on? How do you feel about that?
There's so much to say. It disappoints me to a degree because Naomi is Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that in the sense that she's like a former champion. Like she has faced, some of the best, in terms of, wrestling, in terms of women's wrestling. And she is one
Mm-hmm.
of the best that they've had. And to sort of watch her, sort of go, but I guess they sort of back themselves into a corner a little bit because she was in a tag team and then now she's not anymore. And she sort of has to find her way, in the sort of, I guess you could say in the sort of mid card type of deal with the women.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that they kind of made her look in a sense just didn't reflect her well, and for everything that we've seen from her, that was very disappointing. But then another part of me was sort of trying to think of it in a way that maybe she was just trying to put over a talent, but
No.
at the same time, you know but if you're gonna put over a talent, it has to be longer. A part of me as a wrestling fan wants it to be a longer match because I'm intrigued at how an actual 20-minute or maybe even a 15 or 20-minute match between her and Piper Niven would go. So it's disappointing me, and it almost feels as if, Naomi is just being treated as if she's just another um person, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
Um, it's not fair.
Co-
Like she's getting lost in the
Cosmo,
shuffle.
that part. And that's happened plenty of times. Cosmo, Kobe says, as if she wasn't a former champion. Like, yeah, it's one of
Right.
those things where it's kind of like, if they had touted Piper as like, what she's accomplished in Mae Young Classic and even before that, then maybe. But they didn't even give her a distinction. She was just a wrestler. So it was just kind of like, and the whole thing with Lana, I wasn't really feeling it, but then I started feeling the tag team, and of course they let go of Lana. And I mean, I wasn't surprised that happened. Were you surprised that they let her go? I thought they actually they kept her way longer than I expected, especially since Miro left.
Yeah, I was surprised by it. Like I was surprised by everyone that day. Like it was just it's heartbreaking for me because it's just like even though you don't know them personally, it's like you sort of, build a rapport, from watching them for so long.
Right.
And Lana had been on there for years
Hmm.
and you were just used to seeing her, and then it seemed like, right when she was almost on the verge of finding her groove as a wrestler because she had been training with Natty and all of that, is right when, they start treating her like a joke. And then it was almost like stop start with her, and then you release
Right.
her, and it was a heartbreaking day all around,
I
for her, but also the rest of them as well.
Yeah. I feel like they've been treating her like a joke since the beginning. Like, she said that she's wanted to wrestle. She came up as a ballet. Um, you know, it's just kind of one of those things. And they first people are like if you watch her I want to say the 24th of the Chronicles, she talks about it. It was very emotional for her, but I feel like they were treating it. It's like if she wasn't an innovative and kind of throwing out so many ideas, she probably wouldn't have gotten a lot of opportunities that she's received. Um, so I am kind of surprised that she stayed longer, especially after see, like I say this again, like wrestlers have so many names, like we'll just say Miro. You guys know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where I'm surprised, and it's not like she's not going to, she'll be fine. But then that left Naomi, you know, she was before the whole thing with Lana, there wasn't much that she was doing anyway. She was out for a long time, and then now she's back. I feel like over the last 3 years, she's been out more than she's been in.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It is very frustrating, but on the flip side, and I hate to say this, but on the flip side, I think her run as possibly being a champion that's not going to happen for the rest of her career.
Unless, of course, they move her to SmackDown. Maybe.
Maybe.
That would reinvigorate her to a degree because that's the show where she found a lot of her success.
Right.
A
I
lot more of her success. So, I mean, if they move her back to SmackDown, maybe she would do a little bit better there.
or maybe so Ariane posted this today.
Yeah.
Oh, trying to hold on. Is my mouse gonna work for me? Oh, it's not putting it up there because it feels like StreamYard just doesn't feel like cooperating with me today. But
I see
Ariana,
it.
you see it? I don't see it. I think StreamYard that happened yesterday too. So if y'all are seeing what I'm seeing or seeing what I'm posting, Ariana put tweet today and saying that the Funkadactyls should come back. And I feel like if Eva Maria's back, then why not Ariane?
Right.
It's not like she hasn't been training. She was on AEW, I think, a year and a half ago or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. I feel like, and she has. So here's the thing: I love Naomi, but I feel like with Ariana will bring the mouth. She would bring the sass that will bring everything together and pull it together.
Yeah, and it would be a full circle moment, for them to come back together because they sort of started together as the
Mm-hmm.
Funkadactyls and with Brodus Clay and stuff. So that would be really cool for the tag division. It would give them um more of a story to do than just Nia and Shayna going after the tag titles over and over again.
That part. So I don't know. There was a hashtag pretty much, saying that people shouldn't be doing Naomi dirty. I agree. But I don't know. It's just so conflicting because it's like more of a personal thing. But I don't see her going anywhere. I don't see WWE letting her go because even though in my mind she's part of the Samoan dynasty, I think technically she is, but on paper she's not. It's very confusing. But they have let go of half married couples before, but I don't foresee that happening. And I don't think she wants to leave, but I don't know. I can't speak for her. I typically don't ask wrestling talk to people that I know, just because it gets kind of weird. So I don't know how she feels about it, but I don't foresee her leaving.
Neither
But
do I.
mhm.
Neither
Here's
do
the
I.
question though.
What's the
Where do
question?
you think she would go if she were to leave? Or where do you think she would fit in if she were to leave?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know because she's been in WWE this whole time, and I can't picture her right now like anywhere else. And that's not to say that she wouldn't perform well anywhere else, but I just can't imagine it for some strange reason. Maybe Impact, I'm not sure. Cuz I can't
I
see her
got
in AEW.
you can't.
I can't.
I can see her in AEW if she changes her whole character.
Ooh.
Like almost like the anti Jade Cargill.
Oh. That would be interesting.
Like I feel like she can't come in as Naomi, which obviously, I mean, we saw Miro do a whole 180. So she wouldn't be coming as Naomi. She would have to do something drastic, meaning that she can do. We've seen her experiment with her hair. We don't know what happened with that. Black women in their hair, it's a whole nother story in itself. But she can do other things and not be the Naomi that might be. I think she would do great. Cosmos says that I don't know if she'll get lost in the shuffle because there's not that many women. Like we think there's a lot of women in AEW, but compared to WWE, there's not that many women in AEW. If
Yeah.
you were to compare both rosters, there's not that many women. We see WWE lets us see a certain amount of women, but there's a whole bunch of women in the back all the time that don't
Mhm.
get to wrestle. So Soul Khan has a good one. Jade versus Naomi versus Brandy.
Oh
I'm definitely for
wow.
the Naomi and Brandy. I'm definitely for the Naomi and Jade. Brandy, I don't know about that one. Maybe
Naomi
who
and
would?
Britt.
Yeah, that
That
would
would
be
be
a good
really
one.
good.
That would be a good one. Oh man, yeah. I mean, we can only hope. I definitely don't think it's gonna happen, but it is what it is. So we're gonna like wrap things up a little bit, but another question: Where do you think Naomi's going from here? Like, do you think after that squash match that was like a one-off, she was doing them a favor, or do you think this is gonna be almost like the Lana situation where Nia Jax was throwing her through tables 8, 9, 10, 12 times?
Oh, I doubt that they'll do something like that. Where they'll have her, as a part of a joke storyline because eventually I feel like if it wouldn't be a one-off thing because we saw that happen and it had such a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So if WWE were smart, which they kind of 50% are and 50% aren't sometimes,
That part.
if they were smart, they would actually make it like a continual feud between her, Eva Marie, and Piper, in a sense to where Naomi just wants to get to one up her or sort of let them know, like, I'm the seasoned vet out of both of you, and, assert herself in that way. So if that's the case, then maybe they would do that. So I'm gonna hope for the best, like my show, I tend to do, which is basically my motto, which is to be positive. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be positive and just hope that they're gonna continue going with the storyline and not just be like a one-off thing where she's just squashing people and then Eva's just taking the credit for it. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm hoping for Naomi. And also for Piper too, because I mean, this was like probably a big moment for her, and we don't even know how big it was. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
it's funny though. We didn't even see her on because we had Rhea Ripley. She did NXT UK, then she went to NXT, and then she went to Raw.
Hmm.
Um, and like it's like seems like Piper skipped. Like I would absolutely watch the crap out of the show. I would love to be a show to be just about the writers' room. what ideas they develop, what ideas don't make it, because it's just kind of like, who made that decision? And not that's a bad decision, but who made that decision that now we're just gonna bring her to Raw? And was it for more of to service Eva, or was it based off of her talent, or based off of there's gonna be another storyline down the pipeline? And then also, let's be honest, she's not your typical WWE women's superstar. So are they pandering to, we're all about women from different races and different sizes and different class, all this other stuff. Are they pandering to that? Because that's also in right now. So, is that a thing too? So I would love to just, maybe for legal reasons, that show will never happen, but I would love to see a show like that.
Yeah, I would too, but I want to ask you a question. Did you sort of feel like they were pandering towards, having women of different sizes in terms of Nia Jax, because she doesn't traditionally look like, the traditional women's superstar either.
So with WWE, I feel like at one point where certain, particularly for women and women of color, it was like a Noah's Ark, one of everything. So we only had one female and one black female, I'm sorry. And if there was, a couple of black females on the roster, we wouldn't really see that one. We'd just see one and then they would trade off. But you would never see like, two of them dominating at the same time. Like it was just kind of, and it's the same thing with, you would have somebody like China, but then you didn't have another version. You know what I'm saying? So they wouldn't have it together, thinking, okay, well, I already have, there's a lot of people that I interviewed where they would go to different promotions. The promotions like, well, we already have a black girl on the roster already.
Yeah.
So I feel like WWE was doing that, where it's just like, okay, well, we already have one outlier, and that was Nia Jax. Whereas now it's just kind of like, you can have as many as you want. It's just more about the skill. It's more about the mic skills. There's a lot of other things that come into play. And I feel like they're slowly doing that. I mean, if you looked at WoW, whenever they're coming back, but if you look at their older episodes, they had a little of everything. There's so much variety. Obviously you can, reference Mission Pro Wrestling. We can reference Impact, Shine. There are just a lot more variety. Whereas with WWE, it just seems like they're very slow they want to test the waters, and then they see what's going on in mainstream media, and then they kind of inch. Whereas other promotions, they've been doing things like this for, at least a decade, if not longer. So yeah. She's not like most. Cosmo says she's not like most girls. I mean, it's not a looks thing. It's just a variety thing. Like, you're having more people come from NXT UK, but again, we're not giving her a name, or they're still deciding on their name. So I am just dying to find out. And I know I'm not dying, but I'm more questioning. Like, I know we're never gonna find out, but I like just the logistics of how everything kind of came to be. Like, so why did she not have a name? Or why did they announce her name? It's not like they didn't know. It's not like you couldn't look it up. It's not like we all don't have a phone. So right. There's even, I think there's like a IG page that's dedicated to jobbers, and not that Piper is a jobber, but there's an IG page that if there is somebody that's on WWE and you have no idea who they are, like you can't figure out the name, there's an IG page dedicated to that. So it's not right. Like we can't find out. So like, it's very weird. I am hoping for the best for Naomi, but I feel like they've just been kind of doing her dirty, and it's almost kind of on the level of like, she may get a belt another time, but it'll be like on a Bobby Lashley type of level. It might be a very long time until we see her actually
be champion,
have a really great storyline that people can get behind. Because now it's like she's kind of lukewarm. I think there's a lot of people who like her because we just like her and we want the best for her, but not if we were to strip away the fact that we like her and what storyline wise, you'd be like, she's not doing anything storyline wise. Mm-hmm. Even with the Lana stuff, it was like we were rooting for them, but even when it first started, we didn't get it. It's like, okay, because weren't you guys having a dance battle against each other before? Like, is like, so you guys are friends now? Like, I don't understand what's going on. So say la vie. With that being said, one of us from Women's Wrestling Talk will be back next Thursday. Every Thursday on YouTube, y'all. We're back on YouTube. We're back on Twitch. We're back on Periscope. We're back on Facebook. Every Thursday at 6 p.m., we're going to be doing Women's Wrestling Talk news. So put it in your calendar. Miss Stephanie Hardy, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast, and you can follow me on Twitter at Hardy WrestlePod. And you can listen to my show, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast, on Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, and Anchor as well.
There it is. And you guys, we have so much going on. So every week we have a new episode for you. So next week will be a new pet episode. So we have another show called Women's Wrestling Pro Pets. So we have a pet episode coming up next week. The week after that, we have an interview. And probably in about 3 to 4 weeks, we have a big announcement that's happening for Women's Wrestling Talk, the network itself. So definitely stay tuned to that. If you have no idea, you're just seeing two lovely faces on your screen. You're like, who are these people? Where did they come from? Women's Wrestling Talk. You can follow us on all social media platforms, WW Talk Pod on IG, Twitter, all that good stuff. And then also on our website, www.talkpod.com. My name is TK Trinidad. You can follow me on everything at TK Trinidad. Till next time, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Ciao.